Believe it or not, it's happened again. Early this morning, another air traffic controller asleep at the switch while a flying ambulance with a sick passenger on board circled overhead, desperately seeking clearance to land. It never came. The pilot took that risk and landed anyway. And while everyone on board is okay tonight, the rest of us are wondering what is going on in those control towers, and can we be sure our skies are safe? The Transportation Secretary is standing by to answer those questions, but we start with our aviation correspondent, Lisa Stark, who's on the story again tonight. Good evening, Lisa.
Good evening, George. Well, this is now the latest in a string of incidents like this. Air traffic controllers falling asleep on the job. Just last month, the government said it would not tolerate such behavior. And yet, here we are again. Around 2 a.m. this morning in the skies above Reno, a pilot carrying a seriously ill patient is trying to land at the airport there, trying to call the tower. No one is answering.
Can you get a hold of the tower here? Try and give him another call.
The pilot then calls the last controllers he talked to at a facility in Sacramento, and they try to reach the Reno tower.
Okay, we're going to call him on the phone line. All right, we'll circle more. Got a pretty sick patient. We may just have to land.
The small plane with its sick patient continues to circle and circle the airport. Finally, the pilot of the lifeguard flight, a designation for urgent medical missions, cannot wait any longer. 16 minutes have gone by.
We're going to need to land. 10 November, Roger, and landing will be at your own risk.
This kind of outrageous, ridiculous behavior will not be tolerated.
So starting tonight, the government is ordering 2 controllers on the midnight shift at each of the 27 facilities that now have only 1 controller working overnight. Some wonder what took so long. It turns out the Reno mishap is the latest in a string of sleeping controllers on the overnight shift. Last month at Washington's Reagan National, in February at Knoxville Airport, earlier this week at Boeing Field in Seattle, and in Lubbock, Texas 2 weeks ago, 2 controllers failed to answer a radio call.
This shouldn't happen in Nevada. It shouldn't happen anywhere in our country.
Why are all these controllers falling asleep on the job? One issue may be their uneven schedules. A day shift one day, a night shift the next.
And there's obvious fatigue implications when you rotate from shift to shift throughout a week or a daily period.
The FAA says it is reviewing how it staffs and schedules air traffic controllers. And ABC News has now learned that after the incident here at National, those folks in the Reno tower did add a second controller to the overnight shift, but then went back to 1 controller after the FAA put in some procedures to make sure the controllers were awake before planes were handed off to them. Obviously, those procedures did not work.